Welcome to VDEOMKR.
The podcast that cuts past the highlight reel and takes you straight into the raw behind-the-scenes stories of creatives and makers. I'm Carly, founder of The Good Vibe Media, a woman-owned and operated video production agency and a creative studio space. Every week on VDEOMKR, I sit down with filmmakers, creators, and creative entrepreneurs for a deep, honest conversation you don't typically hear. The late nights, the pivots, the breakdowns that shape the breakthroughs. These are the conversations and stories that make people like me and so many other creatives need to hear. This is a space for growth, for lessons, for community, a place where we learn from each other's real, unfiltered journeys. This is VDEOMKR. Let's get rolling. I'm so excited. All right, welcome back to another episode of VDEOMKR. I'm your host, Carly, and I am so pumped. I feel like I say this every episode, but like truly the excitement is so real. I can't wait to introduce our guest today is Dash. And before we get into all the goods, I'm going to read your bio so that way I don't butch anything here, and then we'll get into the great conversation that is ahead. So Dash is an Arizona filmmaker and creative entrepreneur who founded Mad Lads Media. Over the past few years, he's worked with brands including Red Bull, FIFA, T-Mobile, and the Phoenix Suns while helping generate more than 250 million views across social and commercial campaigns. His projects have featured Grammy-winning artists, world-renowned DJs, major music festivals, TV commercials, and some of YouTube's biggest creators. He loves making fast, fun content and has built his career around filming big adventures, unforgettable people, and telling extraordinary stories. Welcome, Dash.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for the intro.
I'm so happy you're here. I've actually known Dash for many, many years, but
Yes.
it's been a while since we connected.
It's been a minute for sure.
So when you walked in, I'm like, this is just going to be a great little catch-up session for us. Yeah. So how are you?
I'm so good. I'm so happy to be here. We were just talking like when I came in. It feels surreal. I haven't probably seen you, I don't know, in like 7 years.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
been a minute. A lot has happened.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to dive into it.
Yeah, for sure. I know. I was saying it's like you've been on such a rocket ship, and when you're in that like season of like opportunity and growth, it's like time. It's just a time warp.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's awesome. But to share a little bit of the backstory, I actually met you. Were you in high school? Were you a freshman in high school?
I think freshman or sophomore. I was
Yeah.
like 14 or 15.
Yeah. So mutual friend of ours, I was really in the space of starting my own video production company and looking for talented, young creatives that wanted to learn more about the industry and get into it. And a mutual friend of ours was like, you got to meet this kid, Dash. Like, he is so insanely talented and creative. And the second I met you, I was like, okay, I'm bringing you on board. I'm pretty sure we were in like a hot air balloon. One of the first.
Yeah. It was
It's
great.
like, you want to come on a hot air balloon and film some stuff? And you were a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
So that was pretty epic. And now to see all that you have built and created. And I mean, it's just freaking phenomenal to see
thank
everything
you.
that you do. So thanks for coming on the show.
Of course. Thanks
Okay.
for having me.
Let's do some rapid fire questions before
Okay.
we get in the combo. So the first one, these can be short and sweet, or if you want to, make them longer, it's all you. What was the first thing that you ever made that you were super proud of?
Okay, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
You might know this one actually, because it was early. I think I was like 15. I made a promposal with one of my friends for Emma Stone. Yeah. That was probably like the first moment. And I didn't even really do much. Like it was his idea. We had someone else film it. I was helping with like the lighting and color and a little bit of editing and planning. But that video went crazy viral. It was like front page of Twitter. It was on Jimmy Kimmel. And that was the first time I was like, wait a minute, I totally have something here. And I think I was probably working with you at the time even a little bit, but it was, apart from your business, it was more of my own project.
Yeah.
And I was seeing results and I was like, wait a minute, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So that was probably the thing I was most proud of very early on.
Yeah, I love that. So fun. We should like pull that up and actually like dub it in, show a little bit of your first work here. Yeah, it's so good. Okay, what's something in your gear kit that you cannot live without?
Ooh, that's an interesting one.
There's probably a lot in your gear
There's
kit.
a lot of random stuff. got some lenses I love. I don't know.
What's your favorite lens that you like playing with? right
I
now?
use I bought some R-less cinema lenses
Mhm.
that I literally don't take off anymore. I use those for almost every shoot now. So probably one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
a
good.
little bit more niche. I also like weird enough, no filmmakers use it. I use an internal ND a lot on my FX3.
Oh,
Just because I hate having to switch. So if I'm shooting outside, I'll use that.
cool.
Yeah, that's a random one.
I love that. That's awesome. What? Oh, this might be hard for you to answer.
Okay.
What's your favorite thing that you've ever captured? Or maybe it's easy.
That is a difficult
Yeah.
one. Came prepared for this answer. I worked on a music video 2 years ago for a YouTuber named CG5, and it was definitely one of my first like bigger projects. I was, given a nice budget and some trust. But we had like 2 weeks, and he basically was like, I want a one take music video with like dancers and multiple sets and stuff. So we threw a crew together super last minute
Yeah.
and we pulled it off. I think we took like 25 takes to get the right one.
Damn.
But it was really cool. The video ended up doing really well, and it was definitely the first time I've had like 30 people on set that I've directed. So that was a little intimidating, and
Yeah.
especially because we did it so fast. I think, from idea to completion, it was like 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was a crazy one.
That's insane.
I love that video though. So
Oh my God. That like logistically thinking on the back end, like, wow, that
Yeah,
is
that
so
was
impressive.
it was wild. I mean, we had a ton of awesome help. Like
Yeah.
OT is an amazing set designer, and Reese is one of my beautiful collaborators. And I think just between having such talented people that I trust, that's how I just feel comfortable pulling off stuff like that.
Yes, so good. So good. You gotta have the team, and you have to make sure that the synergy is there too
Yes.
to be able to work well together. Because if you got one bad seed, it'll throw off the whole
Totally.
the whole thing. So that's awesome. Where do you feel the most creative?
That's also a great question. I love going on hikes recently. That's been a big one for me. I'll try to like not use my phone.
Mhm.
That's been a big one for me. I also think I kind of mentioned it earlier. I really feel creative when I'm surrounded by my friends. I think for me, relationships really pull a lot of energy out of me. So, even just like hanging out, we do like brainstorming sessions and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. We were talking earlier, and you were sharing how you live with some of your friends, like your whole friend group.
Yes.
Y'all filmmakers, right? So
Exactly,
it's like
yes.
there's never really an off switch, but which is kind of like, it's actually pretty epic.
Yes.
Because you guys love what you do, So
Well, and also like I love making videos so much independently.
Yeah.
Like I have such joy out of doing stuff by myself, but when I get to add on my like literally my closest friends on top of working, it's just like
that's
I
a
can't be
dream.
sad ever. So
Yeah, that's a dream. Okay, I love that. What's a trend in filmmaking that you're really excited about? Is there a trend that you're seeing, feeling?
I like that BTS has gotten so popular. I
Yeah.
know that's kind of weird, but I think with AI and everything that's being created, there's so much value on seeing the process.
Yep.
So I think trend wise, we're going to see even more of that. I know it's so popular right now,
Mm-hmm.
but I think knowing the people behind the art and seeing the whole process, I think that's what makes art so cool.
100%. And I'm even thinking too, like the documentary side of filmmaking. Like we've seen so many documentaries. I know one recently, like the Call Her Daddy podcast. She came
Yeah.
out with a documentary that's all like the behind the scenes, the making of the Taylor Swift Eras tour. I feel like people, at least myself, as a consumer, like I want to see more of that. I want to know the behind the scenes of how
Totally.
things are executed and done, and how art is made, and these like amazing talented creatives, like how do they do what they do, know? So that's so cool. I love it. Who is someone that you would drop everything to collaborate with, and why?
That's a good one. Probably a couple. Definitely some musicians. I've always said Dominic Fike would be my number one to work with right now. Probably him.
I love that.
Yeah, I love his music. I would love to work with him. So
Awesome. I love it. What is one thing about your creative process that people might be surprised to know?
I have a really difficult time focusing on one thing at a time. So like if I'm working on,
Relatable.
even if I have a big project, like I have to have something else slightly going on.
Yeah.
Just because my day to day, I can't do like a 4 hour block on a video. It's like 2 hours, maybe another like 30 minutes, go back to it. So probably that. I think it gives me a second to breathe and take a creative break from whatever I'm working on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's really good. That's really important. And to have the self-awareness too, of knowing yourself enough to say, okay, this is how I operate best,
Yeah.
We love having a few tabs open at once.
For sure.
Okay, let's go back to the beginning. I love to hear why you decided to start Mad Lads Media instead of pursuing a more traditional path in the industry.
Well, I definitely think a large part of it would be credited to you, honestly. Just because I was mentioning it to you earlier, like I started working with you when I was 14, 15. And so I got to see kind of firsthand what like a video agency kind of looks like. And as I started picking up my own projects and going to college, I kind of felt that when I didn't really, it just kind of stumbled across, upon it where people are hitting me up and I'm booking videos, but then it really kind of started making more sense to me. I was like, I don't necessarily want to make movies as much as I want to do kind of my own thing. I can do commercials, I can do music videos, I can do events, and I'm my own boss. So I think that was something extremely appealing to me, especially when I was, younger. And also I just saw all of my friends in college like working jobs they hated.
Yep.
And I didn't feel that way at all. So it was honestly, there wasn't even really a thought process behind it. It was just very natural progression of me getting into what I do now. And then I think obviously as I was branding, it was getting clear to me that I was hiring on more people.
Yeah.
I was bringing on, taking on bigger gigs, and just me being independent as McDonald wasn't really cutting it anymore. So I kind of rebranded into Mad Lads Media, and still trying to grow that. So
Yeah,
it's
it's so good.
been really cool, but yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. Can you talk about some of the first like big productions that you had? Some of those projects or clients that were like defining moments for you to say, oh, this is how I'm going to run my business, or this is the type of production and team that I want to build.
For sure. I think that's a good question because I was just talking to a friend about this recently, but I've somehow stumbled upon doing gigs that feel extremely on brand, especially for me personality wise. Like I'm working with the Red Bulls and doing their big events, and I get to do a lot of music festivals and different things. I'm basically hitting every interest that I ever had, whether that's like basketball or, music, and I'm able to do content completely surrounded by that. Some big jobs specifically that would probably be notable when I was getting into it. Definitely Red Bull. I started working with them really early on, and they've always been super supportive of my career. So that was probably a really big one. I did a couple of music videos that made it pretty clear that I was going to be in the music scene a bit more.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's any like specific ones when I was kind of starting out. Honestly, I had when I did that promposal, we had a brand reach out to us. Nick's Menswear had reached out to us when I was like 16, 17.
That's crazy.
And they basically were like, hey, we love your promposal. Will you start making suit videos for us?
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, okay, sure. So they were like one of my first clients.
I remember this.
And that gave me definitely a lot of confidence, realizing, oh, I can take on like a company as a teenager and do it myself. Because that was a big problem when I was starting. I was working with you guys, but I was like, are people even going to take me seriously? Like, I was so grateful that you did.
Yeah.
But I think there's such a discrepancy behind like hiring a teenager and being like, is this kid actually going to deliver results? And is he going to like even give me my video?
Yeah.
So
little did they know.
Yeah, just
Go
learning how to like navigate through all of those different phases of my career has been really interesting.
Yeah. I want to talk more about Red Bull because I would love to hear the story of how that relationship began.
So I got really lucky. My brother was friends with a rep at ASU. He was just a student marketer at the time.
Yeah.
but he had recommended me to his boss, and they hired me to do what's the event? They had a paper airplane. They have all these random events. They did a paper airplane competition, and that was like, I was so excited to work with Red Bull. And then when I was like, oh, I'm filming paper airplanes, but I was so excited still. And I filmed that event, and I tried to make it really cool. His boss loved it. They hired me to film Pride later that year.
Yes.
And then I just kind of kept working my way up, where I was like, I worked with her boss, then I met more people at Red Bull, and been working with them for almost 10 years now, I think. So
Awesome.
that's been pretty cool, because they've gotten to know me and like see my progression, and give me a lot more trust in their events. Like, I used to only do photos for them
Yeah.
for a long time. And then I, started doing, hey, we're going to bring out the guys and do photos and videos. We're going to do the 360 cameras and the GoPros and make a video and a recap and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So as time's gone on, it's definitely progressed, because I've just simply gotten better, but also my team's expanded a little bit too.
Truly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about team. I would love to hear kind of who were the first people that you brought on to the team,
Yeah.
and how has it grown? How has that evolved? Well, who do you look for, or what do you look for as you're growing your team?
That's a great question. I don't know if I necessarily even knew early on what I was looking for, and I got really, really lucky with the people I surrounded myself with. Right now, it's really technically just me still. I contract out people almost every week.
Yep.
But right now, I lived with 5 guys in college. 4 of them ended up being filmmakers full time.
And were they studying film?
None of them were.
None of them.
None of them were. One of them, so the first guy that I was really working with heavily was my best friend named Reese.
Yeah.
Who honestly might be great to come on. He's
Yeah.
phenomenal. But Reese and I have known each other since like freshman year of high school. We were in film class together, but he was like acting in my short films.
Yeah.
He never was behind the camera. He was a finance major, and he just kept seeing what I was doing. And I remember I was like almost a little bit jealous at first, because he was he bought a camera and he started taking photos, and like all of a sudden my friends are starting to hit him up to take photos of them. And I'm like, wait a minute, I was the camera guy around here, right? And I brought him on set with me one time to help me with a commercial. I think I gave him like $100.
Yeah.
And he was awesome. And I was like, wait a minute, just help is so needed and necessary for where I'm going. And he's just grown so much on his own, to a point where I remember he like downloaded DaVinci and was like, Dash, you got to learn about all these node trees and all these things.
Gosh.
So it's been kind of a consistent progression, where like once he started doing it and he was able to make it a full-time gig, every person in my friend group started turning their heads, being like, huh. So it's been a steady progression. As it's so funny, we're like, who's gonna pick up a camera next, right? But that was, I think, 2020, like 2021. Another friend of mine, Owen, I mentioned, he works for the Knicks now. Go Knicks.
Go Knicks. Oh my God.
But he started getting into it. He worked for the Suns for a while, and my other friend Charlie, and so we've all started working on videos, and just kind of naturally working together. Whenever I needed help, I would be like, hey, I need you. And it's so nice now that everyone's gotten really good.
Yeah.
Because at first it was like, I had to baby Reese and, show him like, hey, you gotta set up the tripod and light this way, and things like that.
But in a way, that's almost good, because you get to groom them in a way that like how you operate.
Exactly.
So when you're on set together, it's like, okay, now he knows like the flow.
And that's, I think the biggest thing is, chemistry wise, now we're at a point in our careers where it's seamless. Like we edit together, we have our hotkeys on each other's computers. We know how each other operate. And it's also, completely independent creatively. Like, the business side of things is confusing and it's scary. And so being able to all run our own businesses and then share each other's failures with one another, I mean, we've grown so much faster because of it.
Yes. So oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
It's been a blessing.
I want to lean into the topic of failures, because I feel like we at our team too, we're always, every single week, we're trying to see like, okay, where were those opportunities of growth, aka failures, that we could, even if it's like, doesn't have to be major, but even if it's just like a minor thing that gives us a glimpse of like, okay, we can learn from this and like grow from it and have healthier boundaries, workflow, communications, all of that to move forward. So what would you say were some like failures that you had early on that were massive learning opportunities?
I mean, we've all learned lessons the
Oh,
hard
yeah.
way. Like one of my early videos when I was a teenager, I remember like deleted some footage. Like you never learn that
Format a
lesson twice.
card.
Yeah, exactly. We've all done those. Some bigger lessons, I think just one thing that was really difficult when we were first starting was navigating, I think, our personal relationships. I mean, we were roommates working together, filming together around each other 24/7. So figuring out what that relationship looks like. And I think just even for myself, like when I look at my failures, I think some of the biggest things were like valuing myself. For a while I was a college kid having fun, partying,
Yeah.
and probably taking too long on videos and things like that. So, I've just really gotten so serious about my craft and making sure that all of my clients are happy. I mean, it's the golden rule of business, but making sure that not only my clients are happy, but I'm really challenging myself. I've gotten to the point now where I could just, go operate and get, hired on to gigs and like sit back and, make a career out of it. But I want to challenge myself. And I think that's the biggest thing. So failure wise, I don't know if there's like one specific like story I can even point to that was like a whoa moment, because I've had so many. But I think just in general, understanding that it's completely okay for me to fail at this point in my career, even now. If I, crashed and burned and lost all my money and broke all my cameras, like there's so much growth still to be had for me as a creative. So if I went down to nothing, like the skills that I've attained over the last decade will absolutely take me all the way.
Yeah.
And I fully believe that.
Gosh, that's so good. So say if you were to crash and burn, like literally all of your gear is gone.
Yeah.
Everything, like you literally have to start from scratch, but you have the experience, the skill set, everything that you've built over the last decade. What would be the first thing that you would do to start back up again?
Well, I don't know if there is as crazy of a ground zero these days because we have phones.
Yeah.
Like phones are so
Yeah.
unreal and they're getting so good.
Yeah.
You can shoot 4K, like they have 10-bit dynamic range.
Yeah.
My friend actually just shot a project on his iPhone and it is actually so good.
Oh my gosh.
And I think that's like the biggest thing is like because of the skills, like it's all about the story now. AI, you can make a clean looking shot, you can make it look beautiful. But if you can storytell, if you can edit, that's what matters the most. So I don't know if there is necessarily like a ground zero is like where I started, because I've even seen it with my friends as they've all learned, because it's not even just me as the mentor teacher now. There's all these others. So, I would have killed to have people that were like one-on-one help like I've been able to do with some of my friends.
Yeah.
And I think we have another buddy of ours, Marco, who's also learning how to do cameras right now, and he's just progressing so fast.
Yeah.
To a point where it's like it took me, I don't know, 5 or 6 years to get to this point that they're getting to within a year now.
Yeah.
So if I were to start today, I really wouldn't be as worried. Like even if I had nothing, because I feel like I could still make something really cool even just with my iPhone.
Absolutely, for sure. I know it is so crazy to think back on that and to think like, okay, where will we be 5 years from now? Like, what do you think? Like looking ahead, where are you putting some energy? Because a part of this whole industry too is like looking ahead at the gear and the technology and the platforms and like what's next, for video production. So I'm curious your perspective on like areas that you might be leaning into or any technical type.
Well, I feel like AI is the big one.
Right.
It's the big scary thing all of the filmmakers are worried about. And I think that's a very valid concern just because it's like, oh, we might all lose our jobs. That's terrifying. I don't think that's necessarily the case, but there's definitely, when I look at projects for myself, there are things that will be taken out of the picture. Like the smooth, sexy B-roll of like a product, it's probably going to get kind of is going to be deleted by AI.
Yeah.
Completely. But there's so many things, like you can't replace a wedding. You can't replace
Right.
a music video or a music festival recap.
Yep.
Like anything that's same day, you'll just simply could never replace.
Right.
Anything that's extremely like storytelling driven, is going to be really hard to replace.
Yep.
Anything that's like personal to a person,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of awesome because truthfully, like I don't want to make the really pretty B-roll videos. Like I want to tell stories. I want to make something that has culture and purpose and impact behind it. So, when I look at the next 5 years for me, like those are the projects I want to pick up, and those are the projects that I want to really start, kind of going after and killing.
100%. I love this so much. When I'm curious on your process, like when you're working with maybe a brand or even like gearing up for an event, before cameras even start rolling, what are some things that you're doing to prepare to be able to execute that really story-driven type of end result?
A lot of pre-production.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the biggest thing. I've even like realized that pre-production in general, like even for like events, I'm starting to do it more often, because for a long time my approach would be go to the event, wing it, right? Like run and gun, figure it
Go
out.
off the vibes.
Right?
figure it
Go
out.
about like I can't make any plans, like I'm
Everything
gonna run into all
happens
these
as it
exactly.
is,
But
yeah.
as I've gotten more into my career, like I'm realizing no, storyboarding is super important. Like I'm starting to do it even for like weddings and like random stuff like that, where if I come with an edit in my head or like even a shot list, the back end is infinitely easier, because that's a big problem is the editing takes forever.
Yep.
When I have infinite ideas, it's like, oh, I have 3 hours of footage, like make an edit. Well, I could sit here for the next couple hours and think about what I'd want to make.
Right.
Opposed to if I come in with a plan, I'm like, oh no, I have the song already before I even shot the
Yep.
video. I already have like a couple shots I know will be in this section. As I'm piecing those things together, it makes it so much easier. And I know it's getting a lot more popular. I think like a lot of people are coming with songs to like even events
Yes,
and things
totally.
like that with them in mind. But as I've been shooting more, almost every single video now I come with a plan.
Yeah, for sure. Do you find that some clients like want to have their hands in the creative versus others that are like, we hired you because you're the professional free range? Like, how have you managed that with different types of personalities and clients?
I mean, I'm sure you're aware, like the video game is way more than just making videos.
Oh, yeah.
And it's totally a personality exchange.
Yeah.
It's being able to read people, being able to sometimes know what they're thinking a little bit, right? So some clients are truly amazing. Like I've worked with so many amazing brands and people and talented people that I really look up to, and sometimes they give me notes or feedback or ideas for video, and I'm like, you're a genius.
Yeah.
And other times, you're absolutely right. Like, I've been doing this for a reason, right?
Yeah.
You're hiring me for a reason, and I definitely have a say in the content that's going to provide value for you. That's why you're hiring me.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think I approach it. A lot of the times I ask people like, how hands-on do you want to be with this process?
Yeah.
Because for me, my ideal relationship is, you give me the creative freedom.
Totally.
Right? Because I think that's what's going to end up paying off the best.
Yep.
But if you have things that are specific, I'm always willing to accommodate for any client.
Yeah.
And like I said, there's been so many situations where I am given ideas by the client and I'm like, I didn't even think of this.
Totally.
That's such a good direction to go in. But I think finding that right balance and not working with clients that honestly, sometimes you have to say no.
Yes.
Like I've worked with clients that, the budget's right, the price is right. It's sometimes even a lot of money, but this is going to take me way too long because of the specific nature of things that they're looking for. And there's certain times where it's like, I'm way too creative of a filmmaker for that. You might want to look for a different option.
Right. And that's really important to like identify though. Like what are some of those cues or those flags when you're on like the initial onboarding phase or even just like discovery phase of like, hey, are we the right What are some of those cues that you're like, yes, we are aligned. No, we are not.
That's a good question. I think a lot of times I'll ask them like, how hands-on do you want to be with
Yeah.
the video?
Yeah.
If they say like, oh, I want it to be XYZ, like I've done so many videos that are cookie cutter exactly how the client says.
Yeah.
And I've had them be extremely happy and I've enjoyed the results as well. I think it's like you said, it's reading people.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go into a meeting and the way that they're talking, the way they're giving you pushback on certain things that you're saying, you can tell pretty quickly this might be a nightmare client or this might be like a really good fit. And I think setting boundaries is something. I'm such a people pleaser.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure you are a little bit too. We're like learning that, oh, I don't have to please every client. Like I don't have to answer my phone at 11 p.m. Or like work on the weekends or something.
Totally.
Being a business owner, you have to work 24/7. But that's been something, especially for this year, I've been really good about. Is like, how do I want to operate my business? What are the rules of my business?
Yeah.
What are the rules for myself personally where I am so surrounded by video that I have to give myself a break and I have to set boundaries with my clients. And one big thing I've done is honestly just sometimes I'll be like, I'm sending you a contract. You're going to either sign it or we're not going to work together.
Totally.
Right? And it's as simple as that.
Yep.
Just setting the boundaries, setting the expectations of the clients. I mean, I think my biggest failures have come from not setting my expectations or boundaries with my clients.
Right from the beginning. Right from the beginning,
Yep.
for sure. I can relate to that. This is kind of the last well, I don't know. I want to touch on this question too, which is a good way to like piggyback off of this. But what do you know now about running a creative business that you wish someone had told you sooner?
That's a good question. That it is 24/7. No, I mean, I really did go into this because I loved it.
Yeah.
And I knew that being my own boss was exactly kind of what I was looking for. Just because when you are really creative, it's difficult to like get feedback from certain people. And also I'm just such a free spirit, like naturally, where I'm like working weird hours and things like that. It's the biggest blessing. But I think something I wish people would have told me would have been just how much work it is. Because it's so odd. I think a lot of people view my life and they're like, oh, Dash is having so much fun. He gets to go to, foreign countries and he's filming DJs. And after I'm at that concert filming the DJ, I'm up until 5 a.m. editing the video.
Yeah, no one sees
right.
that.
So that's something that I definitely wish someone would have talked to me about. And it's not necessarily like I'm ungrateful for that.
Yeah.
It's understanding that is if you want to be great, you have to do things that people are unwilling to do.
Yes.
If you want to take on the clients that, are hard to get, you're going to have to be really accommodating and really awesome. But figuring out that balance between setting my boundaries, you know what I mean? And also, like, I think the biggest thing is with my clients, I always try to illustrate to them, like, there are certain things that are unrealistic, like completely.
Yeah.
I will work really hard for you. Like I will stay up for you. If you want a same day turnaround and have the budget to do it, we can make that happen.
Yeah.
We have people in place to make that happen. But it's, one, going to cost you, but two, I have to set boundaries.
Totally.
If the video is done at 7 and you don't like it, I'm going to need to sleep.
Yes.
Right?
100%. God bless America. Say it louder for the back.
Exactly.
I know. It's actually crazy because I feel like now with so much more demand for it, it's like people's expectations are just getting like that they don't know because they're not, we consistently have to like educate our clients and educate people that, new potential clients too, of like, hey, so many things are possible, but let's set some realistic expectations here.
Totally.
So that way we're doing it in a healthy way for us and for you, and everyone stays alive.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. So I'm curious, when you're pitching or producing for major brands like you've done already thus far, what separates a good creative from one that gets hired again and again?
Well, honestly, one thing I've worked on heavily is just getting in the door with these companies.
Yeah.
I think that's really difficult. And I honestly don't do very much social media stuff. I don't do very much outreach. I've been pitching a lot more, So I've been trying to make my pitches extremely unique. And we can talk about it a little bit more later too, but I've definitely been trying to, my biggest goal is to stand out, right? With any brand, because there are so many talented filmmakers. I am not unique, like at all.
Yeah.
I can be replaced like that. It's
Yeah.
not even a question. Which is also why I do like educating people, because sometimes they'll be like, well, we can just replace you. I'm like, well, yeah, they might charge more and
Good
they might
luck.
not be as nice as I
Yeah.
am. So I think that's important, but pitching wise, it's been something that I've been so focused on, like getting my decks right. I've been even making pitch videos sometimes, because I've noticed that sometimes like saying a brand's name and talking about their video is really like, you get a sense of personality. They're looking at all these decks. Definitely been really, really helpful for me. And then once I get a company, on board, I think it's maintaining them is a whole different situation, because you have to execute at that point.
Yeah.
If you're able to make a deck and they love the deck, and then you're able to execute it exactly how you thought it would be, odds are you're going to stick around.
Right.
I think it's a communication thing. Some clients love being talked to every day. Some are like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
So it's expectations across the board, and being able to be a good people person.
Yeah.
And understand, like, what are they looking for from me? Because when you're working with dozens of brands a year, every brand is very, very unique.
Yep.
Which I don't think a lot of people understand about filmmakers. It's like, I don't work with one person every day. I work with literally multiple people every day.
Yes.
So,
Gosh, that's so true. Yeah, it's so true. How do you balance bringing your own creative perspective while still delivering on a client's vision?
I definitely think I'm at the point now where I have a little bit of a style behind my work.
Yeah.
So I think there is an expectation for, that's what it's going to look like. The edits are going to have similar vibes to these ones. So I even mentioned it earlier, like, I'm trying to start bringing my style and what I do creatively to almost every aspect of my career. Even like, I don't do weddings very often anymore, but like, I did some friends' weddings this year, and I even storyboarded them a little bit before I did that.
Yeah.
So just bringing a little bit of a dash of dash to whatever I'm doing, I think is so important, just because I am an artist, I am a creative, and the companies are hiring me for my style.
Yeah.
There's so many awesome videographers, but they're clearly reaching out to me because they enjoy my work specifically.
Totally.
And if I am not able to bring that across in really any aspect, even if it's just like a static shot, whether it's my coloring or my, my composition,
Yep.
I think there's always a touch of you in whatever you're doing. So
a dash of dash. I love that so much. Well, you kind of touched on this a little bit, but I'll ask this question and see if something else brews.
Okay.
Have you ever had to push back on a client creatively? How did you navigate that conversation? Talking a little bit about like navigating personalities. And this is a side of business that I think a lot of creatives that look at the work that we do don't consider how important this skill set is to be able to, navigate those conversations.
Yeah. I had a client last year, I won't say who it is,
Yeah.
but they were very, very set on doing a video a certain way, and it was a big budget for me. So it was actually probably my biggest budget I've ever gotten.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit intimidating, because they're like, hey, we'll pay you with this, in these terms, and we want to sit in on the revisions and like a Zoom call and things like that. And just from my experience, like, there are certain things that I know will not go well.
Yeah.
Right. If I have to sit through 3 or 4 meetings going through revisions with my client, it's kind of a nightmare for at least me.
Yeah. I know.
So I mean, I remember I sent them an email and I was like, hey, I can't do that.
Yeah.
And I did have some other jobs, but I was like, I've got some other jobs lining up. You're going to either agree to it on my terms and we can do it this way, or I can't do this project. And that was really difficult. I was really scared to send an email like that, because it was a big opportunity.
Totally.
And, but I also have realized that being a bit of a wolf in business is how you can get things done. And it would have really, really sucked had they been like, hey, we're not going to use you. We're going to go a different direction.
Yeah.
But if I had agreed to them in the first place, it would have been a nightmare. It wouldn't have turned out the same.
100%.
And I wouldn't have probably worked with them again. So
100%.
I think just having those types of expectations with those clients and setting them up,
Yeah.
I've learned that
Yeah.
the hard way and the easy way.
Yeah,
So
for sure. Gosh, that's so important. Okay, talking about team, what makes someone indispensable on set?
I'm a big vibe person.
Yeah,
Good
we love
vibes
the
only.
vibes.
So it's energy.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've literally thrown a camera into friends of mine's hands that don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, I set the exposure. This is how you zoom in. Can you just get me some footage, right?
Because they got the energy. They got the
Exactly.
vibe.
And if
Yeah.
because honestly, sometimes I don't even need like someone that's gonna kill it on the
Totally.
second shooter. I sometimes just need someone to move a light stand around and hold my camera and like,
Yeah.
hey, I have a lens. Can you go grab it? And having good energy on set matters way more to me than literally anything.
Yes.
Because I know I can do my thing.
Yeah.
To me, a lot of the certain projects it's different, but most of the time when I'm bringing people on, it's the extra help isn't 100% necessary.
Yeah.
It's necessary, but it's not like this is going to make or break the video. So when I'm bringing people on, it's really important to me that we have really good energy and also chemistry.
Yes.
Because I will refer to certain, people on set will be like, hey, I need a stinger. I'm like, I need an extension cord.
Yeah.
So I think just having chemistry, and like I've worked with the guys I film with on my crews for years. They know when I'm referencing a movie. I'm like, hey, I remember that shot from this. Like we've seen all the movies together. So I think that is so important for me. And I've also like proven to myself that I can train someone. Like
Yes.
if I love the way that they, are people, they're a people person and they can have good energy, like I can put a camera in your hands and I can show you how to use it.
Totally.
And a lot of my friends are more talented than me in ways now. So like it's kind of been proven to me over and over again that I can find value out of just finding the right person.
For sure. And that is so critical, especially when you're shooting those like festivals and events and stuff where many of your shots, like you as the camera operator are creating that energy for what you're I mean, obviously the event itself is creating the energy, but when you're looking for specific shots to like execute the vision of some of the deliverables, like you got to bring the vibe too.
Totally.
It's not comfortable for most people to have like camera shoved in your face or this and that, but if the person operating it creates the energy that makes people feel comfortable, you're gonna get the best outcome.
I mean, I have one of my guys that works on my crew. He didn't know very much a couple years ago, but I brought him on set, and I was convinced for like the longest time my client didn't like me.
Yeah.
Like I was so convinced, and the guy I brought on is just the most likable, nicest guy, and he's cracking jokes and making her smile, and I'm like, wait a minute. And she gave me a call after and was like, hey, the guy you brought on set was so awesome. Like we love, and like he doesn't even really know what he's doing. So I think
There's
that
value
matters
there.
more than anything.
Oh, there's value. Yeah, because it's how you make them feel.
Exactly.
It's
an experience.
Oh, for sure. 100%. I love that. Okay, you have helped generate more than 250 million views. What's the biggest misconception people have about creating viral content?
That it needs to be high production.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Every video that has performed for me, my most viewed videos are iPhone videos by like a long shot.
Oh my God.
There doesn't need to be some crazy production behind it. If you have a good idea and a good story and a good hook, you can generate views. Because like I always tell people, there isn't necessarily an exact formula to go viral.
Mm-hmm.
But there's definitely things you can do to increase your chances.
Okay.
Right. So, at least for me, just like a clever idea, something relatable, a hook. Like there's definitely things that will, no matter what, affect the outcome of your video. Because I'll make videos for clients and they'll be like, well, we want to do this or this. And I'm like, oh, it's just not going to perform. Like I think that's cool, but it's just not going to perform.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen that. I've been lucky enough to work with like a lot of YouTubers and social media personalities where that's taught me more about results that
Yeah.
any film school, any filmmaker has ever taught me.
Yep.
Because there's such value in storytelling and genuinely like these little tricks.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the YouTubers I work with is like, if my face isn't on camera within the first second, I will lose 40% of my views.
Yeah.
Right? Like just little things like that.
Totally.
And that's been really interesting because as I've learned the social side of the world, working with YouTubers and internet personalities, being able to implement that into like bigger productions where we do have money for big productions
Right.
and commercials, I think that's where I'm really going to grow as a commercial director as I get older.
Yes.
Because I have that social media side of the world as well.
Yes, 100%. So when you're developing these concepts, are you initially designing for shareability or does that happen kind of organically?
It's pretty organic. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, some of the best videos I've ever made, we kind of just goofed around. Like, we didn't think the proposal was ever going to go viral.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of did when we were filming it, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like, this is going to be on, have millions of views. We're just trying to make something fun. And that's kind of carried throughout my whole career. I made a video. I went to Japan this year with my friend Malcolm, who does like meta glasses content.
Cool.
And him and I just ran around Tokyo and made a bunch of meta glasses content. And I remember we were in Disneyland and we'd been bowing because it's, a form of respect out there. And he is a silly guy. And one time we were in like a 7-Eleven and he almost hit his head because he was bowing so low.
Oh.
And I was like, hey, Malcolm, let's make a video where you just smack your head next time. Right? Like, I was just like, just send it, just throw your head at the counter. Right? So we went to Disneyland and I filmed him. And literally the first time we did it and only time we did it, it has like 50 million views.
Oh my God.
And it's, it's filmed on meta glasses.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just a silly piece of content, but it was just, a relatable piece of content where like right off the hook, like bang, you can see, you understand, okay, that we're in Japan, he's bowing and he hit his head.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And they're laughing at him. And I think having content that is so easily consumable, it is as easy as just messing around and being like, that's a funny joke.
Yeah.
Right? Like that'd be
Totally.
silly. And that's every video I've come across that has done that well has been from silly ideas like that.
That just pop in your brain.
Yep.
So how do you balance performance metrics with making work you're genuinely proud of? I feel like all your work though you're genuinely proud of. There's nothing you don't.
No, I do some stuff that I'm not proud of, but I think something that has been really, I work with a lot of musicians.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky enough to have some really talented friends of mine that are musicians.
Yeah.
And that has been an interesting thing because I'm so proud of the work I've made with those guys. But they aren't huge musicians, and truthfully, it just doesn't perform that well.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit difficult for me when I'm like making videos for these other YouTubers and musicians where like I love their stuff, but these guys are like my ride or dies. Like
Totally.
they're some of my closest friends, and I probably work harder on their content, and it gets a couple thousand views. So I've switched things up. We've had success here and there, but there's been moments for sure where I've made stuff I'm extremely proud of and it doesn't perform, which is also because for a while when I was early in my career, it was odd because I was like, oh, maybe I'm just like not good enough at making videos. Maybe you have all your doubts. You start questioning yourself.
Totally.
But as I've gotten better and I have success,
Yeah.
I have videos with millions of views. When I have things that I make that don't perform, it's definitely like, well, XYZ, maybe that's maybe we should think of it a different way. And I honestly think a big part of it is the story good enough?
Yeah.
Is this video actually centered around story, and is it strong? And most of the time, if that answer is no, I just don't really bash myself for it because that is like, I know end of the day what will perform, and it's story. It's a strong story. It's a strong hook.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yeah. So true. Okay. Speaking of story, what is one production story that you're never ever gonna forget? It's going in the book.
I have a couple.
Okay.
I have a couple of really cool projects that I think will always like hold a place in my heart already, which is really cool because I still feel like I'm just getting started.
Yeah.
I did a documentary earlier this year. It was directed by my friend Reese. I was a DP on it, and it was for Whitman, Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And it was probably like one of our biggest wins as a video. Reese had gotten hired by a PR company to make a documentary about Whitman.
Mm-hmm.
There was a big train. It's not train station, but like it's a facility essentially. By BNSF, which is the biggest train manufacturer. It's backed by Warren Buffett.
Okay.
And it was, oh man, I don't remember all the details. It's about a year ago now, but big. I think it was like, oh geez, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's like a couple hundred acres, I think, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. It was going to horseshoe in this whole city in Whitman, which is like 250 people.
Okay.
And we got posed with making a documentary, basically kind of outlining, hey, there's a lot of logistical nightmares that involve
Yeah.
this station, and it's going to really affect the city. We got basically brought on by the city to make a documentary about it.
Wow.
Because it was going to a vote for if they can actually use that space or not. And we made a documentary for about 2 months. We went, interviewed like 30 different people. We went to Texas and visited another facility. We interviewed a mayor out there, and it was this run and gun documentary story that we didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into, but we learned so many beautiful stories about this tight-knit like cowboy community and how much this project was really going to affect their lives.
Totally.
Because they're some of the best like horse trainers in Arizona, and it was going to be next to one of the loudest places in Arizona, essentially. So we made this documentary, and it ended up doing really well. Did like a couple 100,000 views independently.
So did you publish it on YouTube?
Yes, it's on YouTube.
Okay.
And it went to a vote with the city, and we were presented this as a David and Goliath case. Like, there's no way. It's a $26 billion project. There's no way that they're not going to make this, and it ended up getting overturned. So that was probably like something that will always live with me, because it's still an ongoing fight. You know, they might come back in a couple years with some new plans and things like that. But at least for me, this was something the city wasn't really even aware of. Like, the people around it weren't really even aware of how big of a factor in their lives this was about to play. It was going to be like thousands of cars on their little tiny street, you know, every day. And it was going to be the biggest train facility in America. So it was kind of crazy because we were directly referenced by their business, by BNSF, like me and Reese. And it was just wild because I saw the impact of media.
Yeah.
Like, very, very directly. Like, this, you know, we got people calling us and crying, being like, we did it. So I think just having a win like that behind my belt, and knowing that even as a small filmmaker, I can have such an impact on people's lives, will always like live with me.
Yes.
And I carry that throughout the rest of my career, I think, because I understand what I'm creating is not just making cool, fun videos.
Totally.
It really has impact as well.
That's so huge, Dash.
Thank you.
That's so, so huge. And it also is like a reminder too of like the responsibility that our craft and our art, you know, has too, where
Yeah. No, it's unreal. I mean, there is such a large responsibility behind what we do, because media kind of shapes the world.
Yeah.
And it has real impact. Like, it has implications behind it. I've made videos that have changed, you know, different businesses and things like that. So it's cool when I get to see that firsthand.
Yes. That's so epic. Oh, I can't wait to watch it. So it's on YouTube, so we could watch it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm so excited to watch that. Let's talk about the creator economy here. So you've worked in both commercial production and creator-led content. Where do you think this industry is headed? I want your perspective on.
Creator, 100%.
Yeah.
Not even a question. The commercial stuff's always going to be around.
Yeah.
It is. But and I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, like, the process, the people behind art, the people behind businesses, like, I mean, it's why influencers get paid so much money to go do brand deals and things like that. It's why we see so many businesses led by creators. I worked with Ryan Trahan actually for a little bit, who's a big YouTuber.
Yeah.
His candy company went #1 in Target as a content creator. And that's unheard of. Like, he's selling more than Hershey's.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. So just seeing the creator environment and people behind products and businesses, it's getting so popular to a point where, you know, large businesses are genuinely worried.
Yeah.
Because now they're starting to feel pressure to bring on creators onto their team.
Right.
Or other business.
Profit share too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Startups are looking for creators to latch onto
Partner.
to be able to partner up and make a brand and make a product.
Yeah.
So we're going to see that more and more. And I also think we're going to see more and more filmmakers working with both creators and brands. And I think kind of in cohesion there.
Yeah. No, I agree. What skills do you think filmmakers should be developing right now if they want to stay relevant over the next 5 years?
I think, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I think there's the obvious, like, just be really good at editing, making videos. I think there's so many things that like I think editing on the post-production and pre-production side is going to get easier because of AI and automation. So I think shooting's actually going to get more important. I think, you know, if we're doing businesses like you and I run, like, I think having being able to talk to a camera is super important.
Yeah.
You know, I've tried bad at making content for myself even, and I've seen more success in that than anything I post.
Yes.
You know, anything I post, even just me talking to a camera, sharing what I do, it gets me more business. So we'll see more of that for sure with filmmakers also being content creators themselves.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see that going anywhere.
Literally my next question written on here. Do you think filmmakers today need to become creators themselves?
Yes. Sadly enough, if you want to make money,
Yeah.
you have to be a creator, whether you're a business owner, whether you're like, if you are an expert at painting, like literally like houses, if you filmed yourself and posted it every day, you would have a lot more business.
Yep.
It's as simple as that.
Yep, for sure. Is there any other advice that you would give to someone trying to break into this industry without connections? Like, they don't have any connections. Like, what's some advice that you would give them?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Because honestly, a lot of the times people will ask me, like, hey, can I help you out?
Yeah.
And I'm always like, yes, I need help. But it's so much harder for me as a business owner when I have 50 things to be like, oh, yeah, so-and-so hit me up and I should hit them to do this. It's, if you want to get involved, if you ever like run into a filmmaker, ask them, what day this month can I help you?
Right.
Look at your calendar.
Where do I go?
Where do I go?
Time? Tell me now. And
Because I've shot 5 times this week. Like, I had a shoot this morning.
Yeah.
So like, if you want to help someone and learn, like, I'm always down to help, but it is, you know, I also get asked a lot. So I think if someone came to me and was like, hey, what day this week can I help you? Or can I show up? I'd probably give you a time and a day.
Yeah.
So I think asking it almost in that manner, I don't know if that's appropriate, but like, it depends on your relationship.
True. And to even maybe take it a step further is like thinking ahead of like, hey, how can I add value or how can I be of support rather than asking, what can I do to help?
Yeah, how can I help you?
Yeah, it's like, just to be a little bit more. I think that that's a big thing too. I think just life in general is like looking ahead and seeing how you can add value rather than like, oh, what can I learn from you? Because that will make you.
Well, and I think that's the biggest thing is even like, I'm almost even less like amused in like a PA sometimes. Like, if you ask me and like, hey, can I come shoot BTS at your shoot? I'd be like, yes, come on down.
Yes.
So
totally. Let's talk about some of the awards. What awards have been the most meaningful in your career and why?
That's a good question. I honestly haven't won too many awards.
Yeah.
I won a like award wise. I mean, I guess there's different like accomplishments.
Yeah, for sure.
I made a documentary when I graduated college
Yeah.
on my friend Zach, who's a musician. And I remember that was kind of a big deal to me because there was a lot of good things and bad things about my film school. but I wasn't super connected because I was running my business. I was working with another production company at the time called Overcast, and I just was busy.
Yeah.
So when it came to my capstone senior year of college, I was super checked out.
Yeah.
And I was over it, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
how can I get this done as fast as possible? And I was like, oh, I can make a documentary on my roommate.
Yeah.
Like, he's a cool musician. We make some cool stuff.
I love this.
And I sent in a request to make it just by myself independently.
Yeah.
You have to do crews with all of them.
Right.
And it ended up winning.
Oh my gosh, Dash.
Which was pretty cool because, every other short film had like a 10, 15 person crew, and I did this one entirely independent. And it was also like on like one of my closest friends. So it was just kind of I don't think it's something super, super special,
Yeah.
but I think just in the moment for where I was at mentally with where I was in college, it was like, wait, and I was also like excited to finish it and like get it out. But it was definitely like a whoa moment of, okay, like it wasn't even necessarily like I was super proud of the video. It was like I graduated college, I did the thing, I'm starting my business, and I'm still seeing like results. And it was like I was really proud of that.
Yeah. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. I want to watch all of these videos. I'm like, we might need to like put some links in the
I'll get you
show notes.
Yeah.
Okay. So what advice would you give to filmmakers who struggle with putting themselves and their work out there for recognition? Is there any type of advice?
That's a really good question because honestly, I think it's something I struggle with a lot.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people around me would disagree. I have a friend of mine that's like, oh, you're so good at sharing BTS and making videos on yourself. I'm like, I've really had to force myself to do it.
Yeah.
I've not posted more than I should have. And I have so many things that should be out in the world. Like I've mentioned so many projects today that I don't think I've even shared. Like I don't think I shared the documentary. I don't think I shared any of that stuff. So that's something I'm really guilty of. But I remember last year I forced myself in June to post every single day for a month straight.
Yeah, I remember this.
And I would love to do it again.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. But that was one really good for my business, but I think it was better for myself because it was breaking the threshold of like, oh, I can just post and it doesn't have to be some miraculous banging video every single time. People want to hear about what I'm up to, my life. And the coolest part about that series was, it didn't go, I've had videos go so viral, and I didn't think I had a video do more than like 15, 20,000 views, but I was getting phone calls from friends I hadn't talked to in 3 or 4 years. I was getting I was having very real community behind my work.
Totally.
So it's kind of helped me. And I don't necessarily know if I need that validation.
Yeah.
But it was definitely rewarding.
Yeah.
And I think for where I'm at creatively, like I always second guess myself. I always do. If a client doesn't like me, if something doesn't work with the client, I'm always blaming myself. Did I not do business well enough? Was the video not good enough? If a video doesn't perform, it's like always on me.
Yeah.
Whereas when stuff happens to my clients or things like, I don't ask those questions.
Yeah.
So as I've gotten better at what I do and more comfortable in my own skin, I think just knowing that you can literally post and someone might swipe on it in a second and not think about it. Like if they think it's cringe, next,
Yeah.
right? And it's so weird because you're like, oh no, they're gonna always think I'm cringe and all this. It's like, no, you're a combination of everything.
Yeah.
Your interactions in person, your videos. Like if I make a bad video, so be it. I make really good videos too.
Yeah.
So I think just knowing that there's such contrast and every post doesn't rule who you are.
Yes. That's such powerful perspective. Okay, to wrap things up, I want to hear what's coming up for you. What's something that you're really excited about? Let's chat about upcoming work.
What do I want to talk about? So I actually am starting another business right now.
Let's go.
So kind of exciting. Super random. I got my foot in the door. I had 2 founders reach out to me. One of my old clients I've been working with for a while. He's a good friend of my brother's.
Yeah.
We lived together for years, but he is a big commercial real estate guy.
Uh-huh.
And he reached out to me about a year ago and was like, "Hey Dash, I have this awesome idea.
Yeah.
I want to start a meat company." And I was like, "You're crazy. That's insane." And then 6 months ago, he was like, "Hey, I booked an Airbnb for the meat company. Do you want to come? I would really love to talk to you about it." And I was like, "You're crazy
Yeah.
still, but okay." So in January, I went out. He booked a Hobbit house Airbnb.
Oh my.
And I showed up, and he's handed me this 30-page business plan. And is like, "Read it."
Oh.
And he's like, "It's called Beef Boys." And I read it, and I was like, "Okay, this is kind of genius."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, screw it,
So
I'm in." So I've been working on it for like the last 6 months. It's been a lot, but we're selling. Basically, the business model is we do premium, high-end, locally grass-fed beef delivered to your doorstep.
this is amazing.
And it's a lot like other, meat subscriptions, but it's local and it's a lot more higher quality. And I don't really know too much about the meat industry until I got into this, but I've been learning so many new things. And it's also been a bit of a blessing because I work on my own filmmaking business, completely independent by myself. And I have two amazing co-founders for this one, Drew and Trey. And Trey is awesome about the logistics. Drew is a graphic artist from LA who is our creative director, and she is genuinely incredible. And it's awesome because a big part of my life has been like, I've helped so many businesses grow, get products sold, things of that nature. And a big question mark for myself has been, well, can I do it myself? Like, can I do marketing and can I make creative campaigns? If I really, want to put my money where my mouth is, I would have my own products and my own business. So kind of a weird thing that I've been working on. We're launching in September.
Amazing.
But it's been awesome because I have full creative control. I get to make whatever videos I want to make. And it has been quite wacky. I'm excited to show everyone everything.
This is so awesome. I'm so pumped to see this.
Yeah. So
what a good way to like expand you too in all areas, like in your film business and everything that you do. This is probably going to expand you big time.
Yes, it definitely will. And it's been cool because I get to make so many connections outside of my filmmaking business. But I also get to like, in a weird way, it's kind of good marketing for me.
Yeah.
Because I get to meet and show off my skills as a filmmaker in a completely different realm, in different world where it's connecting to me as well.
Totally. Gosh, that's huge. Yeah. That's so exciting. Beef Boys. I cannot wait to see more of that September.
I'll show you some videos.
This is so good, Dash. Before we wrap up, this is one question that we like to ask every single guest that comes on the podcast. And it's a letter to our future makers. If a young creative or filmmaker found this podcast 10 years from now, what's one piece of advice that you would want them to take from you? Kind of that evergreen advice.
I mean, it's the silliest thing ever, and it's the most cliche advice, but literally, like, anything is possible. I was, I think, 13, and I was dreaming of making videos. I was dancing, I was doing music, I was doing all these different things, and I was like, no, I want to make videos. Yeah. And I literally just mentioned it to our mutual friend, Ryan, and I was like, I think it'd be really cool if I started doing video stuff, and he connected me with you, and here I am today.
Yeah.
But it's been even cooler than that because I never thought this was going to be possible. Like, it was a dream of mine, and it was honestly way easier than I ever thought it would be, which is kind of the craziest part. Because I was like, when I was a kid, I was like, it'd be so cool if I got to make videos with my best friends and, go do music festivals and music videos.
I get paid to do it.
Meet all these celebrities and it's been such a dream, and I like literally have to pinch myself sometimes. But not only is it possible, but like I can dream bigger. And that's been something I've been really reminding myself recently is like, no, there's still so much work to be done. There's still so many cool opportunities that I haven't even thought of that will present themselves to me. And like if you dream it, you can believe it. Like my buddies, like Reese was a finance major. He never thought he was gonna be a filmmaker. He thought it was impossible. His parents were like, I don't know if you should do this. That's probably a bad idea. he proved him wrong.
Yep.
You know, my friend Owen proved himself right, or what. Like, it's been so crazy because I've watched literally everyone in my circle follow their dreams and succeed. So it is possible.
Wow, you are in a pretty stellar circle. Your story, your journey is so inspiring. I've had so much fun watching you grow and just literally everything that you've built. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see like what the next few decades. I'm like literally I am subscribed. I am Dash biggest fan. So grateful for you coming on the podcast and sharing your story, and can't wait to see what's next.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm grateful for you.